written one before. Just look at the documents and pick which one you think is better and think of reasons why. And then we'll get back as a group and see what you guys came up with. You guys can be a group of 3.
What's going on?
Yeah, I don't like conflict.
What's your name?
Oh, black cat.
It was like watermelon. I was like,
I'll tell you. I'm gonna call you.
Everything else also.
So we'll wrap it up in about a minute or two. I've heard a lot of great things so far. So say your final thoughts, I guess. And we'll bring it back as a group. You can some
What are some of the things you guys talked about as a group? Anyone want to volunteer what their group found wrong between, or which candidate they would have chosen if they were the hiring manager?
Yeah, this one seems more professional and uses better language. You can tell that this was put more work into it, more thought, and it shows that personal experience also that they included that could support what their employer is looking for.
So it's more professional. They included a lot of experience. That's great. You could tell they put time into it. Over there in the back.
Yeah, I guess touching off of what she made, it elaborated on the experience rather than the other one talking about the thing.
Okay, so you said it elaborated more on the experience. So that's kind of what we're talking about, showing, not just telling. It's also point. Do you want this food? Would you like chocolate or caramel? Sorry.
G. Carter, I
honestly did not do any kind of spell check or grammar check before he sent this in, so it's pretty bad.
Which words did he misspell? Or G, I guess we don't know because it's G. It's just G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mr. Carter, he knows that it will help me further my career instead of saying how he could help his future employer.
That's an awesome point, yeah. So, you shouldn't just be writing these documents, the same thing with a resume. You shouldn't frame them as if, hey, like, I need a job from you, giving it to me because I need money. You need to be using language that shows what you bring to the table, how you can help them. And you just made a great point in that you want to do the same thing with cover letters. Anyone else?
One applicant's provided contact information, which is important.
Right, because they're not just going to bump into you on the street. They need to figure out how to find you.
And the other one says you can contact me, which probably isn't the best way to do it.
Yeah. So contact information is included?
Yes.
The longer one is a little bit more personal. It tells the name of the person he's trying to contact, and there's more contact information down there. Like email, cell phone.
Perfect. So it's more personal, included more information like the contact info and who they're talking to. You don't want any? It's okay. Maybe we'll take one more, two more, in case someone has something they want to share. We have Candy.
Yeah,
Did someone already mention like who addressed it?
he did a little bit, but yeah, that's definitely important.
Yeah, I guess even if you don't know who addressed it, you just like sir.
Yeah, so he was pointing out again that you want to make sure you're really addressing it to someone specific, and sir might not be the best way to do that. So that's a huge part. Sorry.
So G. Carter says that he's attached his CV, which shows his experience, but I think it's best for the future employee to kind of spell it out for the employer, like give them, and if the whole purpose of a cover letter is to tell them why you're the best candidate for the position. So better to spell it out than for them to have to do the work on their own.
That's great. That's a really great point. So the whole point of a cover letter is to expound upon what's on the resume. So don't just say, hey, just read the other piece of paper that I'm going to give you. The point of the cover letter is to add something new and really show your writing skills in a different way about what you bring. So that's a really awesome point. If anyone hasn't written a cover letter before, that's kind of the idea.
I'm good.
You're good?
So I think you guys hit on all the points that we were trying to get across. And as we go throughout the presentation, we're going to explain some of these, especially like the addressing the person that's doing the cover letter. Even if you don't know who you're addressing the cover letter to, we have certain ways to play it safe that way that whoever reads it is not offended. Or if it turns out to be a ma'am with the sir, that's kind of offensive a little.
So who's sad that the Panthers lost? Okay. Who's sad about like the outcome of today? Did you have a bad day, a long test, or a crappy class? No, you all loved today? Well, that's awesome. That's perfect. So you are all, no?
Joel has that.
You had a crappy day? What happened?
I mean, it wasn't great.
Wasn't great. Okay. That's fine too. So during the job search, there could be a lot of things that get you down, or you apply for a job and you don't get it, or you think you're going to get a position and it just doesn't pan out. Well, there's really only two things you can control in the greater job search, and that's your attitude and what you look like on paper as far as a cover letter goes. So as long as you come into writing your cover letter and doing these different things during the job search with a really awesome attitude, regardless of whether you had a good day or not, you're going to be in the best shape possible. And today we're going to cover how to make you look like your best self in a cover letter and on paper. But I guess we have a couple stories about our personal experiences with cover letters.
Yeah, so this is my first semester as a career ambassador, and last semester when I was applying for the position, that was actually my first time ever writing a cover letter. So it was kind of intimidating writing a cover letter to somewhere where you're supposed to teach about cover letters. But I think two things, like she said, that you can really control is your attitude and then what you look like on that paper. And And so for what you look like on that paper, that's kind of coming to this. So I didn't actually come to this event last year, so instead I watched it on the Career Development website and got kind of like a general gist of what you need to include, what it should look like, stuff like that we'll cover today. So hopefully you guys will have a good feeling about that side of it, and then your attitude. I was pretty nervous about applying for the position and didn't really know exactly if I was gonna get it. So that kind of like put me in a little bit of a down position, but as long as I made sure I portrayed myself really professionally and really positively, you'll get a great cover letter. And I think if you follow both those things, you'll have a better chance of succeeding at whatever you apply for, whatever you do.
And writing your first initial cover letter can be like the most intimidating. I have been given presentations about cover letters for about a year before I wrote my first cover letter. I knew what went on it, I knew how to highlight my skills, but actually sitting down to write that cover letter became a problem. When I looked through EPAC, if a job application says requires a cover letter, I throw it out because I didn't want to do that. That's just an extra document I have to sit through, proofread, make sure that I address it correctly and I don't like misspell things wrong, since apparently now spell check is almost useless. But eventually I sat down because one of the positions I really wanted to work for utilized a cover letter and it was part of a requirement. And after sitting through it, doing my initial cover letter, just going through the steps on how to format the paragraphs and which information belongs in it, made the whole process easier. And we're going to talk about more how to structure those paragraphs and sentences.
So now that we have the gist of what a cover letter is, there are actually a few different situations in which you will want to have one prepared. First is the application letter. Does anyone have an idea of what this might be referring to? What you would use this for? We all want one when we graduate. Yes. So the application letter, when you see a job posting and you're going to be sending in your resume, you'll write the cover letter for that. Another situation in which you would use a cover letter is in a networking situation. So has anyone done an informational interview? Does anyone know what an informational interview is?